You ever have one of those projects where everything that can go wrong just absolutely does go wrong? This is one of those projects. So, come along, laugh at me. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. This project, well, I don't know what to say about this project, other than I'm not even sure why I'm producing it. The only thing you're going to learn here is how to not do some things, and how, I'm a bit of an idiot at times. Let's get into it. In a previous video, I used the mini mill to remove a broken stud, and while I was doing it, I actually milled off the faces of these exhaust ports. It's not super easy to see in the video, but you can see there's a swirl pattern here. It's not really bad, but you can actually feel it kind of right out at the edges. The reason for this is this head is just so wide that it doesn't fit really well onto the mill. And when you're working all the way out at the end, the mill is all the way to one side on the table, and all of the weight is tipping the mill. And so when I'm running the hand wheel, the motion of the hand wheel makes the mill rock just a little bit. And that rocking motion translates through the mill and ends up giving this kind of a finish on it. So if we look at the mill, you can see it's not bolted down. That has a lot to do with it moving. And I didn't bolt it down for a couple of reasons. One is I'd like to put a chip tray under here to catch some of the junk that comes off of it. The other concern that I have is I'm not certain that the top of this bench is all that thick. It's fairly thick, but not real thick. And if I bolt it down to it, the top itself might flex some, so I'd like to give some rigidity to that. So what I figure, I'll just cut a piece of plate steel, lay it down with holes for the right spacing for these tabs, for these feet. And then I'll cut some, flat bar and come off at an angle on each one of those. Come up at like a 45 and make a chip tray out of that. Now the challenge there is in these back corners, you have a 45 this way and a 45 this way coming together. Yeah, I could do that math on paper, but it's a lot easier to just throw it in CAD. Alright, so now we've got it designed here. Just have a couple of views that give me some measurements. So the bottom plate, and then the dimensions for these side pieces. Really, the decimals aren't going to matter that much since we're just welding it together. As long as we're close enough, it's good enough. The important part here is the spacing on these holes. We need it to match pretty well for the feet on the mill. Definitely make sure the rags are out of the way. Not the cleanest cut, but less effort than a hacksaw. I got the holes in it using the hand drill. It was just going way too slow on the mill. And the problem I'm running into now, even if I clamp through one of these holes, I can't get a full run or even a run from the edge. Basically, there's just no way on this mill for me to smooth that edge. It can't happen. So we'll just take the grinder and we're going to try to smooth that guy out. Not one thing, it's another. I'd say that blade is well past its life anyway. But that'd be a problem. That seems a bit short. It's supposed to be all the way back here. I don't know what happened. So, plan B. Screw it. Keeps blowing the breaker. This 110 just is right at the edge of being able to weld this stuff. Whew. Nozzle's a little clogged, but ooh, that's terrible. This can be all sorts of terrible looking. Go with the theory that if you put it on thick enough, it can't run, right? Oh, man. Oh, man. Well, it looks like red dog crap, but it should still function. We'll let this dry overnight, come back, drill some holes in the table, and bolt it down. Alright, I let her dry overnight. Honestly, the paint doesn't look near as horrible as I was expecting. The welds, surprisingly, did not get any better. But they're going to hold. And, yeah, it's heavy. I bet that thing's 20 pounds. Maybe more. Let's get this thing mounted on the bench. That's not good. Notice the smoke's not coming from the bit. It's coming from the drill. Well, ooh, it stinks. Wouldn't be this project if I didn't destroy something else. There we go. Now it's bolted down. The whole bench has to move in order for that to. That's much better. Should give me a much better surface finish. And if I put a head on there, it won't act like the whole thing's going to tip over on me anyway. So, disaster of a project, but if you've made it this far, thanks for sticking with it.